Excel Module 1, pages 14 through 21. All right, read page 14, and when you get finished, we're going to pop up the top of page 15 to start a new blank workbook. On the ribbon, click the File tab, and that's going to display your Backstage view. Step number 2, click New. See it right there? In the navigation bar to display the new screen, which includes access to templates for a variety of workbooks. Click the Blank Workbook tile. Right there, see where it says Blank Workbook? Click that one. A blank workbook opens. In these modules, the workbook window is zoomed to 120% for better readability. If you want to zoom your workbook window to match the figures, complete Step 4. If you prefer to work in the default zoom of 100% or at another zoom level, read but do not complete Step 4. You might see more or less of the worksheet on your screen, but this will not affect your work in the modules. Step number 4. If you want your workbook window zoomed to 120% to match the figures on the zoom slider at the bottom of the... Let me try that one more time. If you want to make it match, go to your zoom slider at the bottom right of the program window. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to come down here on the far right hand side. Do you see it right here? It says 100% zoom level. Click that plus button until it reads 120. Now this is a personal preference. You can certainly do whatever you want, but if you keep it at 120, it's going to precisely match the figures you see in the book. Some of you might want it larger if you, maybe don't see up close as well. Some of you might just want to leave it at 100. Totally up to you. You decide how you want that zoom level. Okay, go ahead and read the bottom of page 15 about renaming and inserting worksheets. And when you get finished, turn to page 16. To rename the Sheet 1 worksheet, double-click the Sheet 1 tab. Okay, so we're going to zip right down here, and we're going to slowly double-click until you see it highlighted in reverse video. Type Customer Order as the new name, and then press the Enter key. You'll notice that the tab expands to fit the name that we put in there. Go ahead and read those couple little short paragraphs right there. And then we're going to move on to insert and name the documentation and customer contact worksheets. Step number 1. To the right of the Customer Order Sheet tab, click the New Sheet button. Okay, right there, you see that New Sheet button? Click it. A new sheet named Sheet 2 is inserted to the right of the Customer Order Sheet. Double-click the Sheet 2 Sheet tab, type Documentation as the new name, and press the Enter key, and your worksheet is renamed. So we want to name this documentation. And remember, if you were to make a typo, you would just come back, double-click it again, and correct your typographical error. Step number 3. To the right of the documentation sheet, click the New Sheet button, and then rename the inserted Sheet 3 worksheet as Customer Contact. So we're going to click right there, double-click it, Customer Contact, and press your Enter key. Remember, if you make any typos, no big deal, just double-click it and rename it again. Okay, read that little brief 2 paragraphs about moving worksheets. To move the documentation sheet, point to the Documentation Sheet tab. Right there. The Sheet tab name changes to bold. Press and hold down the mouse button. The pointer changes to that little symbol right there, and a small arrow appears in the upper left corner of the tab. Drag it to the left until the small arrow appears in the upper left corner of the Customer Order Sheet tab, and then release the mouse button. So basically drag it, pull it, and do you see right there, you see that little guy right there, that little arrow? That tells you where it's going to go. So just drag, pull, and let go. Now, they should be in the order of documentation, customer order, customer contact. All right, read about deleting worksheets, please. And then we'll move to the top of page 17. To delete the customer contact worksheet from the workbook, step number 1, right-click the Customer Contact Sheet tab. Now, this is the one where you have to be really careful and you make sure you have the correct sheet tab you want to get rid of. So this one says Customer Contact. Right-click it. You get a shortcut menu. You're going to slide up to where it says Delete, and it's gone. Read the brief paragraph about saving a workbook, please. To save your workbook for the first time, on the Quick Access toolbar, click the Save button. or you can press the keyboard command Control S. Okay, so we're going to move up to our quick access toolbar right there. That's our save button. Click it. Step number 2, click the browse button. See right here? First of all, it says save as, because this is the first time we're saving it. And it says browse. Go ahead and click browse. Now, this is where you have to navigate to your flash drive. Okay, mine is going to look completely different. So navigate to your flash drive. And then we're going to name this game card. Okay? All right, so we're naming it game card. Go ahead and make sure, number 5, verify that it's saved as an Excel workbook. Right there, you see it. And then step number 6, click the Save button. Now guys, please make sure right here, right now, that you are saving this to your flash drive and not onto our computer at school or even onto your computer at home. You want to keep this on your flash drive because you're going to be using it back on campus, right? So make sure you navigate to your flash drive and then hit Save. All right. Go ahead and read the bottom of page 17. And when you finish reading that, and this is really important because you need to know about entering text, date, and numbers. It's not as easy as it sounds, and there's really some tricks to this. So please make sure you read that. And then we're going to flip to the top of page 18 to enter text in the documentation sheet. Step number 1, go to the documentation sheet. Click it. Then we're going to give it a Control Home. To make positively absolutely sure we are in cell A1, type game card in cell A1. Now, press your Enter key 2 times. The text is entered into cell A1, and the active cell moves down to cell A3. In cell A3, type Author, and then press your Tab key. The text is entered, and the active cell moves 1 column to the right in cell B3. If you ever question, am I in cell B3, remember to look up at your name box. Okay? Step number 5. Type your name in cell B3, and then press the Enter key. Okay, got your name typed in? The text is entered, and the active cell moves down 1 cell and to the left to cell A4. Step number 6. In cell A4, type Date and then press your Tab key. The text is entered, and the active cell moves 1 column to the right to cell B4, where you would enter the date you created in for the worksheet. For now, you'll leave the cell for the date blank. Step number 7, press the Enter key to make cell A5 the active cell. Type Purpose in the cell and then press the Tab key. The active cell moves 1 column to the right to cell B5. Type To record customer game orders in cell B5 and then press the Enter key. Figure 1-12 shows the text entered in the documentation sheet. So what you want to do is you want to look at your screen and make sure that it matches figure 1-12 at the bottom of page 18. Okay, go ahead and read the bottom of page 18. If you need to pause and fix anything, do it now. And when you're ready, just hit play on this video again and move up to the top of page 19 and read that couple of quick paragraphs up there. Alright, to undo the text entry in cell B5, on the Quick Access toolbar, click the Undo button or press Ctrl-Z. The last action is reversed, removing the text you entered in cell B5. So undo is right there. Go ahead and click it, and you'll see that text disappeared. In cell B5, type To record purchases of board games from game card, and then press Enter. And again, if you make any mistakes like I just did, you can just fix it. It's really easy. And if you get finished and you make a mistake, I'll show you how to fix that too, because I've got a couple. So to record purchases of board games from name card, and then press enter. And you can see right there, I have a mistake. So I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to double click the word that I misspelled, and I'm going to type it in again. And I'm going to check it, and I still made a mistake, and that's really okay. Just fix them, right? When you get finished, press your enter key, and there you go. All right, read the little bit between what we just did and the bottom of page 19. All right, to edit the text in cell B5, which is kind of what I just showed you how to do, double click cell B5. So we're going to go B, and we're going to go 5, and we're going to double click. That switches you to what we call edit mode. Okay, and if you look right down here, it says edit. So now we're in edit mode. When you're in edit mode, we can work down here. Before I was working up here, we can work down here, and we can move with our arrow keys, and we can make any changes we want to, and we can edit this line of text right here. So, press the arrow keys to move the insertion point directly to the left of the word from. Okay? And type and other items and press your space bar. Okay, so basically we just added some text in there, and when you get that all done, go ahead and press your enter key. You always need to remember in Excel, press that enter key to make the computer accept your changes. Go back and do a quick little read of that and make sure that you have it correct. Then when you do, go ahead and flip the page, and we're going to go over to page 20, and you need to read about understanding autocomplete. Autocomplete is awesome. You need to understand how it works, so go ahead and read that real quick. Okay, to enter Leslie Ritter's contact information, step number 1, click the Customer Order Sheet tab to make it the active sheet. In cell A1, type Customer Order as the worksheet title, and then press the enter key twice. The worksheet title will be entered in cell A1, and the active cell becomes A3. All right, in cell A1, we're typing customer order, and then we're pressing our enter key 2 times, and we're in cell A3. Step number 2, type ship to in cell A3, and then press the enter key. The label is entered in the cell, and the active cell will be A4. Okay, ship to, and the 2 is capitalized, and press your enter key, and we're in cell A4. Step number 4, in the range A4 to A10, enter the following labels, pressing the enter key after each entry and ignoring any autocomplete suggestions. So we are in cell A4, and we are going to type first name, and then we're going to press our enter key. Those commas, don't type them. That's just to separate it out when you're reading. So we're going to type in first name, and enter, and then last name, and enter, and then address, enter, city, state, postal code, and phone. Okay, if you need to pause right now and catch up, just stop and pause the video and get that all typed in. I'm just going to check mine real quick for typos. And when you think everything's right, go ahead and we'll move on. All right, step number 5. Click cell B4. B4 is now the active cell. In the range B4 to B10, enter the following contact information, pressing the enter key after each entry one more time, and ignoring any autocomplete suggestions. All right, so the first name is Leslie. Press your enter key. Remember, don't type in the commas, that's just in the book. Ritter. Her address is 805 Mountain Street. Look what I did. Really nice that I made her address her last name. But that's okay. That's the beauty of it. You go back, you fix it, it's no big deal, right? I cannot seem to get off of this particular cell, can I? What is this woman's name? And her address is... Okay. I have an issue in this file where every time I type a number, it's throwing up on me. So I'm going to check really quick, and you know what, I leave these mistakes in so that you can check your own computer, because when you work in a lab, I can tell you what happened. I already know. Somebody turned off my number lock key. Wasn't that sweet of them? So I'm just going to turn it back on, and that's going to take care of that problem. So if you're ever working in a lab and you saw what was just happening to me, I'm just typing away, doing my own thing, minding my own business, and as soon as I went to type in the numbers, and because, you know, I'm just zipping along, typing them in like you're supposed to, someone had turned off my numlock key in a lab, just reach down, turn it right back on, keep going. It's not like we can't fix it, right? So she lives at 805 Mountain Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, 02302. And then her phone number, all right. When you type in that last number, always make sure that you press your enter key. And there is a mistake, and I want you to know the textbook did it on purpose. This wasn't me this time, and I know that you're going to see there's a problem in that postal code, and that's okay because we're about to go fix it. They were just teaching you what happens when you do this. So, other than this postal code being wrong, let's take a quick look and see that we have Leslie Ritter, 805 Mountain Street, Brockton, Massachusetts. We have a problem right here, and then 508-555-1072. Now, on the top of page 21, it's going to tell you why that happened. So you read about displaying numbers as text, okay, and it's going to explain to you about what happens with a leading zero. Really important that you read that and understand how to fix that, because that's going to happen to you in the future when you're working on your own, and there's not going to be anyone to tell you how to fix it. So make sure you read that, and then move to enter the postal code as text. Click cell B9 to select it. Notice that the postal code is right aligned in the cell, unlike the other text entries, which are left aligned, another indication that the entry is being treated as a number. So what we're going to do is we're going to type apostrophe, okay, it's right next to your enter key, and then we're going to type in the postal code, which is 02302, and when you get done, press your enter key. That apostrophe is a command to the computer, so you're going to see the apostrophe does not show up. It's a command to the computer to tell it that there's a leading zero, and we're going to treat this number as text instead of a number for a calculation. So it's going to left align it, and it's not going to cut your zero off. Click cell B9, and then take a look at figure 1-15 and compare what you have on your screen to what they have in the book. And when you get everything doctored up and fixed so it looks just like this, and don't worry about this part being cut off, we're going to fix that in just a minute. So just type it in, make sure it looks like it does in the book, check for typos, and then you're ready to move on to the next video.